I am so excited that we are entering year 2 of the support from the fireworks community team. I am so excited to have them hosting us today. They're a creative co-working space focused on supporting the local community and uplifting creative entrepreneurs. Get a free day pass. When you book with them, you have to use code DRIVE, or if you go to see them in person to visit their beautiful space and meet their awesome staff, tell them Logan from Your Morning Drive sent you, and you'll get a free day pass to try the space yourself. Fireworks Co-working in Marietta, Georgia.
Your Morning Drive is also present to us by Good Days Canned Cocktails. Good Days are a classic cocktail brand created in a convenient, ready-to-drink canned format for any occasion, whether it's a pool day, a boat day, a beach day, a graduation, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, anything in between. Good Days are there for you. Good Days are ahead when they are in your cooler, your fridge, your anything in between. Good Days has your back. If you want to be one of the first to try their drink, you can do so by visiting drinkgooddays.com/pages/find-us to find a store near you selling their drink. Of course, you must be 21 years of age to consume and purchase.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Your Morning Drive. I am your host with the most, Logan, coming to you from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. We are so glad that you are here today. Before we dive in, I have a couple of quick requests. Number one, make sure to hit that follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform. This way you'll never miss an episode and new ones will come straight to you every week. Second, share this episode with just one friend who could use a new show to start their day. You can find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, but if you enjoy a visual experience, we're on YouTube as well. No matter what platform you listen to, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, leave a review, hit the 5 stars. It's a simple way of helping us reach more people, and it takes 10 seconds. For even more content, updates, behind-the-scenes fun, follow on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You'll find episode announcements, clips, and plenty to keep you entertained throughout the week. Let's get started. My guest today began baking with her dad when she was very young. She would bake his late grandmother's recipes. When she was in college, she developed her first cake recipe and tried decorating. She originally went to college for education, worked a few years in a small private school, but realized it wasn't her jam. She dropped out of school and worked for a small restaurant turned food truck business. The owner became her mentor and helped her start her business from home. 3 years later, she now makes custom cakes, cupcakes, and wedding cakes. Please welcome my new friend, Ashley Taylor.
Hi.
Hello. Oh, there goes my charger. How about that? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for joining me today.
No, thank you for having me. I've been super excited.
I wasn't quite sure because I always tell people this. I don't do a ton of research into my guests before I see them, just because I don't want to have all of their journey spoiled for me.
Yeah.
Until when I sit down with them. And when I was reading your bio this morning, when I was putting my notes together, I was like, mentor, owner, food truck business. It's Laura.
It's Laura.
That's so funny. How did you guys meet originally?
Funny thing. So I quit my job at the small school and I was like, I still need an income. So I was going around applying for stuff and my mother-in-law told me about Tom and Chi and that they were hiring. So both me and my sister-in-law went up there for an interview and I got the job. Sister-in-law did not. It's okay. It was supposed to be a few weeks over summer, something like that. And it turned into a lot more than that. Started customer service, got to know the owners, worked my way up and ended up being manager and all kinds of different things there. So that's how I ended up with my journey. I told Laura about my business and being Laura, a businesswoman. She's like, let's do it. So yeah, it's been a journey.
Really?
A long journey, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit. So you went to school for education.
I did.
Where'd you go to school at?
Georgia Highlands, small stint at Southern Poly before Kennesaw bought it. Back to Georgia Highlands. And after a few years of working for Laura, she's like, you need to go at least finish and get a degree. So she got me my last class to graduate.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't completely drop out.
I didn't finish with my education degree.
Okay.
Because I was like, I don't want to invest more in that.
Yeah.
But I did get like an associate's degree because Laura's like, there's no reason not to.
Gotcha. Very cool. Very cool. So rewinding even further, then you started baking with your dad, as a lot of kids do with their parents when they're young, and did something just like, I don't want to say click there because you were so young, and every kid for the most part enjoys doing that with their parent. But it's almost like when you got that job with Laura and her husband, with Tom and She, were you just like, I'd rather be in food than education? Or like, had that ever been a thought of yours throughout, in between baking with your dad and like being an adult? Had being in the food business ever been something that you thought of?
Sort of. I think so. Let me try to back up. Baking with my dad was a big part of my childhood. I loved it whenever he's like, we're going to do this cake. It was always exciting. And I think what happened was his passion kind of was contagious and spread to me, because he was known for his fudge and his cakes and stuff. Not pretty by any means. He does not have the gift of the decorating hand, but he would get his employee or his coworkers and his friends like, I will pay you for these. And he always said that if he could leave his government job, he would open a bakery.
Oh,
but he never took that leap. So it was always kind of there, I guess. And then as I got older, playing with my own stuff, it was a thought in the back of my head, but nothing that I ever thought would come to fruition. And then working in Tom and She, I just loved it. I loved the food service industry. I loved the customers and
like hospitality and
everything. Yeah, it started with customer service, and then I kind of forced my way into the line, and it was just it. And there's an energy about it that I was like, I can't go back.
It is contagious. I worked a lot of jobs when I was in college too, but then I worked at a chip for 2 years, and I swear those 2 years were so fun. It's such a family like life working in a restaurant. It's not like a grocery store where everyone's just there, they're clocking in, they're all doing their thing, miserable. Whereas a restaurant, like you're all there to just get through the shift.
There's so much to do.
So much to do.
Yeah, it's an energy. You really bond with your coworkers. You do, because you're going through the thick of it with them. You're with them more than anyone else, and it becomes a true unit.
Oh, for sure. I think it's really underappreciated. I've gone on the record to say that I think that people, when they're getting jobs, when they're in high school and college and stuff, everyone should work in a restaurant or some kind of food hospitality, whether it's a coffee shop or a bakery or just a full-blown restaurant. Like, you need that, like, it teaches you how to work as a team.
Yeah, it does. It teaches you patience. It teaches you also, I mean, how do I put this? Because there's always so much to do. There's chaos. There's good customers. There's difficult customers. There's management. There's other employees. It teaches you how to work with literally everyone.
Well, yeah, it also, I mean, it shows you, A, how to work as a team, but it also shows you that you are a cog in this greater machine. And if you fail, everyone else is going to fail. Even if you're just the host, because that's what I did at Chili's, is I was just a host for a while. And I found that even if I were to slack off on one aspect, then the servers would get thrown off, and then the kitchen would get thrown off, and then the management would have to make up for all of that. And then you just literally throw a wrench in the whole night.
Oh, yeah.
One little piece goes down.
Oh, yeah. You don't piss off the cooks.
No. That was the first thing I learned.
Don't piss off.
Is you need to be buddies with the cooks. Do whatever they say, how they say it. And
the ones running the show.
For sure.
Yeah.
They have all the control.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, ultimately, people can sit and wait. The cooks have all of the control.
Oh, yeah.
So if they're pissed, it's not going to be a good night.
Yeah, and if you want a meal, you better be
for sure.
Behavior.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think working in that kind of environment, I don't want to say working in other environments like other retail doesn't teach you customer service, because that's not true. But it's almost like it's a different kind of customer service in the food service, because you have to deal with people when they're hungry.
Oh,
and that's a problem.
And on their lunch break,
yeah,
they have this amount of time.
Yes. Oh, I forget about that. Hey, I only have 30 minutes. You're like, okay.
Then you don't come in at 12:30.
Right. Why are you here?
Don't do that.
It's Saturday at 12:30. Why are you here?
Yeah, no.
Should have just gone to Chick-fil-A.
Wendy's is next door.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It really taught me how, because growing up when my family went out to eat, like I tried to look back and I would think we were never difficult people. Like I like to think that we weren't, but for all I know, they thought we were difficult. But it made me realize, like, wow, some people are.
They come in with the intention to be difficult.
Yeah, some people just want that.
Yeah, and you get to a point where you can spot them too. It's like they walk through the door, there's an air about it.
You just know
You're going to be a problem.
It's the kind that you sit them down, and this story has stuck out to me throughout the years. It's like you sit down this party of 6, and it's like 5 o'clock, so it's not quite the rush, but it's like kind of starting the rush, and they're just like, "Hey, man, can you like send a message to our like server and the cook? Like our kids are really hungry." And I was just like, they were like, "Can we like make sure their food comes out like before, most of these people?" And that was like when I first started, I used to be like, "Oh, let me see what I can do," just because I didn't have the balls to just be like, "No."
You always.
But it got to the point where I was just like, "Yeah, man, I mean, I'll say something, but I doubt that's going to happen."
Yeah.
I just want to set your expectations.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want you to be pissed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be pissed later on at your server, because ultimately they have no control over that. It's literally just the order of which orders are submitted. But like, I'll say something, but I doubt, I bet the cooks are just going to laugh at me.
Yeah. I had a lady stand in front of me, a couple people back in line, and call the restaurant so that I had to pick up the phone and place a pickup order. Yeah, she looked me dead in the face, and I looked at her, and I knew, and I heard that phone ring, and I was looking around talking to her on the phone. She's like, "I need to place a pickup order." And she was like 3 people back.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The audacity.
I was flabbergasted. I was like, how do I handle this situation?
The best part of that, though, is when you're dealing with difficult customers and your management backs you up. Because they're like, "Oh, let me see that manager of yours." I'm like, all right, they're just going to tell you the exact same thing I just told you, but sure, sounds good.
My favorite was when I was the manager and I was doing customer service. Like, "Can I speak to your manager?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am. How can I help you?"
Yeah. Saw this clip one time of this lady that was like, "Let me see your manager." And the guy was just like, "Okay, hey, how may I help you?" And she was just like, "What?" And he was like, "I am the manager." She's like, "I got to take a phone call." And then they leave. You're just like,
Yeah.
But that also shows you how spineless some people are. Some people, like you said, people just walk in and they want to be a bitch.
They do.
Like
Yeah.
It's just part of their day. They're just like, "I'm going to be an asshole to try to get free food or our bill comped or a free dessert."
Oh my God. Yeah. It's like, "Is there a discount?" I'm like, no, there is not.
No.
Is there a promo going?
The only discounts we have most likely are either first responders and military, and you are neither of those.
Yeah.
You're just an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. I've also had people pluck out their own hair, put it in their food. And we were a small business. So the lobby was tiny.
Oh, for sure.
The line, you could see everything. And I loved watching people do things like that. And then like, "Ma'am, like, come on now."
Pluck out their own hair
And put it in the food.
Dude, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, it was bad. Or they would eat like 3/4 of their meal. They were full.
This was cooked wrong.
There's a problem. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'll have the second one in a to-go box, please. And you're just like, all right.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It got to a point where I just started rewarding the good customers.
Really?
I did.
Like how?
So I would try to pick 1 or 2 tables or people a day. And I would just go out of my way to be a gift to their days. I'm like, "I'm going to take this off. I'm going to, put this 50%, or here's a card for something, for a cheaper price next time." Anything I could do, send a free, we had grilled cheese donuts. My favorite thing was to send a free grilled cheese donut over to them when I saw that they were getting done with their food.
Just because, how would you choose them? Or just be like super kind people, or
kind people, mothers with their kids, especially that one. I had one that will always stick with me. She brought her little, like, I don't know, 3 or 4-year-old daughter in, and it was her birthday, but they didn't ask for anything. And it wasn't like "It's my birthday, sing to
right.
me," something like that. They were just so excited to be there. So of course I'm like, "Birthday cake donut, send it over." So yeah.
That's really cool. Because then that just is going to be a good experience for them. And they're going to come back and they're going to bring their friends. So that's just good repeat business.
Yeah.
Whereas like those difficult customers, they're still going to come back.
Oh,
and they're going to try the same thing that they always try.
I had one that did for like a month straight.
It's so ridiculous.
Once a week for a month. She came in and she always had the same thing and had a problem with the same order.
I always found it so flabbergasting just because, like I said, I don't remember us being difficult growing up. Like, my parents are not those people to try to like pull a fast one and be like, I ate 3/4 of the steak, but it's cooked wrong. Like, we were never those people.
Yeah.
So when I would see people treat the servers like that, I would be like, I can't believe people leave their home and do these things to other. Right. Who are you, for real?
Yeah. Someone in this industry specifically. Yeah. We were never like that. And we would have like family reunions at Cracker Barrel. There was a lot of people there. Everyone was respectful. I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, but it's getting out of hand. And COVID didn't help.
No.
Oh my God. The weakness that came out of that.
People are so selfish.
I don't know if it was too much time alone in their house. Their only company was the mirror. I don't know, but no one has people skills.
No, they don't.
No.
They really don't. It's really upsetting. I worked kind of around COVID, I worked at a pizza restaurant to pick up extra cash. And I was just, it had been several years since I had left Chili's. And I was like, this is insane. It's so much worse than it used to be. It is. People are mean.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, even had regular customers come in who were like the sweetest people. The few that returned, I was like, there is a darkness about you now.
There is an emptiness in your soul.
Yeah, it was rough, man. It was bad.
Wow. Yeah, I really do think most people should work in a restaurant, to the point where I told both of my siblings, I was like, you guys need to work here. And I think they both did. They both worked at that same chalet. Yeah, for real.
At least.
Because it taught them so much. And now my sister works at Chick-fil-A, so I know she's getting the customer service experience. Yeah. She's working for the Lord himself. So you said something earlier that piqued my interest. So your dad worked for the government.
Yeah, he worked, he was a mailman. Well, he didn't do mail routes, but he worked in the post office since he was 16 until he retired this year.
Wow. Congratulations to him. How cool is that? And so was he a big baker as well? Like, has he had that bug as well?
He's always been natural in a kitchen. He never worked in a kitchen, but he was the one. It wasn't mom cooking dinners every weekend. It was his special recipes and his secret sauces and whatnot. And he loved it. And baking, he loved. I mean, he taught me how to properly crack an egg and mix the liquids first. Like, he did all of that, and he was very passionate about it. And like I said, he wanted to do something with it, but he wasn't going to leave the
security and the benefits,
with the family with 3 kids, so. But yeah, and we had talked about it briefly when I was getting started in all of this. My mind has changed and my business has had many different looks about it, where I wanted to go. My ultimate goal was to start a business, a bakery, and have him come in with me. And that was his retirement plan. So, and he's still pushing for that. He moved to North Georgia now, and he's like, Blue Ridge needs a really good bakery. We can do this. So,
wow.
It's not a no. It's not we're just kind of seeing where things go.
Just kind of throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, that's the thing about starting your business. It's very fluid.
Oh, yeah.
Every year is different. You get different ideas.
Oh, yeah.
The market's different every year. We'll see.
It's the curse of being a creative, like, business owner, because you see somebody doing something and you're like, oh, I want to try that. And yeah, exactly. It's like the world. Yeah. And you're just like, oh my God, we should try that. And then you have people like my wife is good at this. I don't know about your husband, but she's just like, okay. And she just reels me back in. She's like, think about this realistic.
The realist.
And I'm like, well, yeah.
See, that's the hard thing is my husband's also an entrepreneur with his own business.
Really? What's he do?
So he does like contracting work. He works on houses in every way, inside, outside, everything. He works on cars. He's been doing that since he was 13.
Wow.
And he's got 3D printing. I swear.
3D printing? Really?
He's got that on Etsy. So he's got a bunch of different things going on, and he gets those ideas too. And he's like, I'm just going to do it.
That's me.
I love the idea of that. I'm going to sit with it for a few years.
I'm like him. I'm like, maybe I should write a book. And then I'll immediately, I'm going to write a book. And then I'll like open up Google Docs and I'll just start typing. But then I go through these phases of like where I'm obsessed with that idea for like 3 weeks. And then it just fizzles.
Yeah.
And like, I'll be doing like I did the other day, and I was scrolling through all my files on my computer, like cleaning up stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, there's that book I started.
I'm telling you, I understand, because he's acting like that. He's like, the next day I'm going to start this process. The next week I'm going to start this process. All of a sudden I'm like, you can't have 4 businesses.
Him and I are the same.
But he's also, because he's like that, I'm like, ooh, I'm going to start a cookbook. You should. That'd be cool. I'm going to do this. Yeah, you do that. But he's also the one that keeps me accountable because I'm the type who's very fear-stricken.
Really?
Failure and stuff like
Oh, well, me too as well.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to start this because I don't want it to end badly for me. I don't want to get discouraged. And he's like, you just need to do it. It's like, so what? Just do it. And Laura and him, both in my corner, are very much the same. So like, who cares? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least go do it. So they've helped me get to where I am. Because if it wasn't for those influences in my life, I wouldn't have done it.
You don't think so?
Oh, no. Oh, no. If I had, I'd be like in my 50s maybe, and it would have been a rough road. I would not be where I am today if I didn't have those driving forces who are like, why aren't you moving? You know, so.
I can see that Laura's that type. I met with her and her husband a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about some marketing stuff that I might help them out with. And I could just tell that she was, and she doesn't hesitate to tell you if you're doing something wrong or not taking advantage of a certain aspect of your, like, she was like, I really loved our podcast together. It was so fun. She was like, well, by the way, you're doing this wrong, but we're going to fix that. I can tell that she has a passion for helping people grow.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell that through, like, I don't know if at the time she was doing it with the Tom and She, but she's doing like that whole like leadership program, right?
That one holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she like makes you guys read a book or something. Dude, when I was there the other day, she was just like, are you reading any books right now? And I was like, no, not really. She was like, here's 2. And I was like,
oh, she'll give you it. You should see my bookshelf.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it stocked courtesy of Gaston Street Eats?
To purge all of my nonsense books that didn't teach you anything to make room for the management that we've done. Because, I mean, we did that management program years. I want to say we're approaching 4 or 5 years with it.
Do you still do it?
I haven't since I've been gone a month from their business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm intend to go back and still do the leadership program because I love it.
Oh, wow. So you recently left.
Yeah, it's been a month.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're full time now.
I am. I mean, I'm going to have my hands in a few different things.
Sure.
Because bills still have to be paid.
Sure. Of course.
So while I'm building my business, I'm actually going back to substitute teaching a little bit.
Yeah, that'll give you some extra.
It'll give me something, vacation planning, and I don't know. I'm working with my husband a little bit here and there too. So
yeah, I mean,
busy.
Most people, when they go full time with their businesses, aren't lucky enough that like their business pops off and then it's just an initial like, okay, I'm full time with this only. Most people, I feel like, have to have their hands in a few things, whether it's like Uber Eats and doing your business or like helping out at the local library or, something.
Exactly. It can be a rough start. I mean, there are some people who are blessed. I mean, I've been doing my business for probably close to 4 years now, but I hadn't put my whole body and soul into it. Think about me as when I am in something and people are counting on me, I am giving everything I've got to it. So I've been working with Eric and Laura for the better part of 10 years now. And I was a manager there. So I gave everything I had to the point I was like, I'm tired, to do my own, go from a kitchen to working in a kitchen at home.
Right.
It was exhausting. So I didn't push myself and push my business out there until recently. And I'm trying to put everything I've got into that now.
Yeah. That's exciting though. So what's your favorite? I mean, let's talk about sweets. I mean, what's your favorite thing to make?
I love cake. I love doing custom cakes for people. I mean, there's an artistry behind it. And my favorite is when I have a customer, they're like, do what you want. I love doing that. And wedding cakes, they hold a special place for me. I love doing wedding cakes.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's just something about like old school piping and old school cakes are coming back. For a while, people were doing cupcakes and donut bars and this, that, and the other. But that old floral and old Italian piping.
Are they really coming back?
It is. And I'm so thrilled.
Because we had a donut wall at our wedding.
Yeah.
We had a little cake that we did for like cutting and everything, but for the most part, we just had a donut wall. And I'm pissed because I didn't even have one donut at our damn wedding.
I understand that because I did like a cake topper and then cupcakes at mine because I didn't want anyone having to slice cake. I was grab and go. And I swear I got 2 bites of my dinner and maybe a bite of my cake when we sliced it.
Welcome to your wedding day. You won't eat because you're going to be just.
No, I couldn't finish a glass of wine. I was really upset.
Yeah. I made sure I had something in my hand at all times, but I don't know if
I kept picking one up, and then they're like, actually, put it down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I loved having the donut wall, but I have been to a few weddings recently where they've had the traditional several layer. Yeah.
I just did one recently. It was actually for a friend of Eric and Laura's. They know everybody.
She was the president of Kennesaw Business Association, wasn't she?
She's had her hands in everywhere in Cobb, and she knows everybody. You need connections, she's the one. Yeah.
Well, she hooked this up.
Yeah.
I was like, who should I do a podcast with? And she was like, Ashley.
I love her for that.
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, I did a wedding cake, and it was the 3 tiers, just white and they got their florist to bring stuff. It was the best. It was so fun.
What? Can't spit it out. So the cake that we had for our wedding
Mm-hmm.
was one that we bought from Publix because it was just one layer. It was a simple circle. It was there solely for the picture taking of us cutting the cake.
Yeah.
But how would you convince people who are like, oh, I'm just going to go grab a cake at Publix? How do you convince them to, because I assume you're more expensive than Publix.
Roughly, yeah.
How would you convince someone like me
Mm-hmm.
to go with someone like yourself rather than just grabbing a Publix cake?
I've had this conversation a lot because there's nothing wrong with a Publix cake.
Yeah.
I'll eat a Publix cake.
Yeah.
Especially if I don't have to.
Publix has good cakes.
They do.
You gotta give credit where credit's due.
And it's funny, my sister worked in the Publix bakery with
Yes.
the cakes, so I know a little something about that. But my thing is like, you could have this cake made by a machine. They get them in frozen. There's no love in them at all. And you're going to get the same copy paste style cake that everyone else from Publix has. If you want an experience and you want that customer service experience, then you go to a home baker. Me, I put my heart and soul into every cake I make. Now, there are some bakeries, they roll out 100 cakes a day and they're just trying to get through the orders. If I have to set aside the week to do your cake, I will set aside the week to do your cake and I won't take any other orders. And then you have the ability to pick whatever you want. Everything is made from my hands. I don't use boxes and stuff. Some bakers do. Everything is my recipe that I spent my time on to do. And I will be in contact with them the entire time. So it's not you place the order, I'll see you in 3 months, you know? So I really take care of my customers. And part of my business motto is, for me, I want you to get a quality product without breaking the bank. You know, obviously I got to get paid. The product has to be, you know, compensated, all the ingredients, but I want to make sure that what I have to offer can be purchased by any level, the middle class, the lower class, the higher class. I've got something I can give everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
How do you market it?
Mostly Facebook right now.
Okay.
I did have a website for a little bit. I took it down for now. I did. Yeah. There's work to be done on it. And the direction I was going in with that at the time is not the direction I'm in now. I'm basically just taking my business day by day right now and seeing where I guess God takes me, where the direction I need to go in. Since I wasn't giving it everything for so long, I'm just kind of on its own. I'm letting it take me on the journey.
Yeah, it's kind of a trial and error period.
It is. And I'm really excited about it. But the website originally had something where you could kind of pick from a drop-down menu. And you can pick this amount of cupcakes and this and this and this. And I didn't really like how impersonal that was. Yeah, I like talking to my customers. And I feel like I can get more detail from them with a face-to-face conversation or even just email texting calls than them picking something from drop-down menu. Because they can't tell me that they prefer the floral, they prefer this style, you know, this packaging. So I really like to talk to them in detail about what they want.
Yeah, that's admirable. I mean, it's like you said, it's just a drop-down menu is nice and convenient and all, but it feels like it's automated.
It is. And I'm not a machine. I'm a person and they're a person on the other side of that computer or phone. And like I said, what makes people come back to me, I think, is that personal aspect. I'm going to get every detail for you. And I'm going to make sure it's yours. And I even give you usually a play-by-play. It's like, we're at this stage, we're at this stage, we're at this stage. That also gives them time. I mean, I can only do so much with last minute changes, but gives them time to be like, that's not actually what I meant, you know? So.
And have you had that?
I've had similar, one of them was interesting. This one I couldn't make happen. I was in the middle of a cake that was tearing my soul apart. You get those sometimes. You take on a little bit more than you can chew.
Sure.
It's like 10 o'clock at night and I'm working on this big cake and I'm talking, it's a square. It's huge.
Hey.
It's heavy. I mean, this cake was probably 30 or more pounds by the time I was done.
Good God.
And
What makes it so heavy?
you know, it's
Just the size?
It's the size. The density of the cake makes a big difference. Toppings. This one had like fondant in it and filling and all kinds of stuff. It was crazy. And they were like, oh, can we do this? And I was like, I am elbow deep in fondant and frosting right now. There's nothing that can be changed, man. You know, but I mean, I'll be honest. If I can make a change, I will. But please don't ask me the night before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a no.
That's a no. It was messy. I had to send my husband out for more fondant, like at Walmart at 10 o'clock at night.
Where do you buy fondant at?
Well, you can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Michael's and Hobby Lobby. But I will say my favorite stores are Michael's and Hobby Lobby to get my
Really?
stuff. There's different things that each has to offer, and I get certain things from each store. You can get a lot. Like the baking and decorating business has skyrocketed since COVID.
Really?
They have a lot more to offer professionals now.
I know fondant because you know what? One of the first shows I ever binged on Netflix when I first got Netflix when I was in like high school was Cake Boss. Obsessed with Cake Boss.
I watched it every day.
Oh my God. I was just talking about this last night. I was like, dude, I loved Cake Boss.
I was obsessed.
I know a lot of the cakes that they made on Cake Boss were very extravagant. Have you ever done anything remotely kind of a little out of this world?
I won't say out of this world. Well, okay, I did do a cake for my mother-in-law's birthday. That was a bit crazy. She loves frogs.
Okay.
And
interesting.
She loves frogs. So I'm like, how can I make this woman a frog-themed cake? And I just let my creativity go wild because at the end of the day, I was like, it's cake for family. I don't have to show this to anyone if it doesn't work out. And I went wild. It had edible lily pads and flowers, and it was a scene. And it had like water up top looking, and then the lily pads and the frogs sitting on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Foliage and all kind, looked like a rainforest. And I was very proud of that one.
Now, how long would that take you to make?
Oh God. 2 very steady days of work on that cake.
Wow.
And it wasn't a big one. It was 6-inch one, but it took a lot of time. I mean, cutting things out, piping, frosting colors. I mean, I had a mess.
Yeah.
The kitchen.
Do you have a large kitchen to do this in?
No, I do not.
That's the struggle right there.
That's the struggle. I mean, I got a pretty decent sized island, but that's about it. Funny enough, when we bought this house, we were originally looking for one that had space for my work to be done in the future. But I loved everything about this house.
Yeah, it just spoke to you.
The kitchen was the one I had to just deal with.
Yeah.
But you know what, shows I will make anything work. I will make the space work for me. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So one of the things you put on the thing that you're passionate about is young people starting their own businesses.
Yeah.
Tell me about that passion.
I'm glad we're talking about that because that's important to me. Like I said earlier, one of my things is I was a young person, in her early mid-20s, and I had this thought, but I was too scared to do anything with it. I was like, we'll just see where life takes me. That's not how business works. You gotta dig in and you gotta do it, right? And if it weren't for Laura, I'm going to mentor you. Like, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to get you started. She took me along. It really put something in perspective for me going through this journey, to jump all over the place a little bit, because I had this grand idea of what it would mean to own my business. And I'd have to turn it into this $1 million bakery and all this stuff. And those ideas were very intimidating, very paralyzing for someone who's just starting out, who's not even sure who they are yet. So when it comes to young business women, men, entrepreneurs, people who want to get started, just do it. It's nothing to get an LLC. I thought it was going to be a way bigger process. It's nothing. Do it, take it at your own pace. Make it as small or as big as you want, but there's not going to be anything worse for you going down the line than not trying or starting at all. You can start it and decide you want to keep it small, and which is what I did for years. Keep it small, manageable, but I'm still doing what I love. And if I wanted to pay my bills one day, then I just start promoting myself more and go down that, road. If I want it to be a bigger business and bakery later, that's down the road. You don't need to take everything on all at once. So, but just start, whether it's an Etsy business, a baking, whatever it is, just start small and take things in little chunks, as Laura would say. Bite a piece off at a time and make your way there. So it's not so overwhelming.
Yeah.
To think about.
I do think a lot of us, we want the full-time aspect of our thing so bad. And I think it's unfortunately due, and I'm a hypocrite because I spend all my time on it promoting stuff. But I mean, social media, just like comparing yourself to other people, other businesses that aren't even fair for you to compare yourself to. Yeah. Like you go and you look at somebody, like if I look, like me comparing myself to Joe Rogan is not fair. Right. The dude is a mega celebrity, and me thinking, oh, I'm so jealous of his success. Well, the dude had been doing stand-up comedy. He'd been doing the WWE stuff, not the WWE stuff, whatever the other one is. I forget the name right now. But the fighting, the UFC stuff. I mean, all of that stuff. And then he started his podcast. So it's not even a fair comparison. But it's like, I'm like, I wish I could do this full time like he does. But it's like,
you a bit of a,
you don't have to, you're not going to get there overnight.
No, you're not. And you don't have to get there. The idea of owning a business, everyone thinks you got to go big. You got to make this like huge thing where you're in Atlanta and you've got your own skyscraper, No, there are plenty of people. There are single moms baking bread on the side and selling it in little farm stands in their front yard. It doesn't have to go anywhere that you don't want it to go. And I don't want that pressure hanging over people and preventing them from making those first steps. And that was a big part of me. I was so scared. When Laura took me on, I was like, I don't know if I really, I'm trying to, do what she says and follow her mentorship. But the whole time I'm shaking in my boots. I'm like, I don't know if I can handle this stuff, because my mentor is also Laura Hart. Bigger than life. She takes on everything. She can do everything. So there was a little bit of an intimidation.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to impress this woman. I look up to her.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But, she also is the one that taught me you don't have to do anything with it. You can make it small, make it big, do whatever you want, take on a cake a year. It doesn't matter, but do something with it. You got a passion, you got a talent, do it. So, I feel like that was something that was huge for me in my journey to take on and to learn for myself. And that comparison thing, I think, really it started a lot with the millennial generation, because we've had the MySpace, the Facebook, the Instagram, and you're seeing all these influencers and these crazy entrepreneurs out there. And you're like, I'll never be that. Like you're saying, can't compare yourself to Joe Rogan. I can't compare myself to Cake Boss.
Yeah.
So they started generations before I was even born. So that comparing thing is just unhealthy.
It is unhealthy. And it's really hard. I mean, I'm sitting here and it's sounding like I'm preaching, but I mean, it's hard. I do it all the time.
Oh, I do it all the time.
I'm like, I'll listen to a comedian's podcast or something on the way to work, and I'm like, this guy's doing this full time. I wish I could do mine full time. And it's like, but then I've been trying, at least in this new year, been trying to like be better about like, okay, like we're manifesting it. We're not like sitting here and we're going to negatively compare it. We're going to manifest it.
Yeah. And that's a big thing, is the manifesting. And the more you think yourself forward, the more steps you'll take to get there. And it can be subconscious.
Yeah.
To just keep visualizing where you want it to be. And suddenly you're just all of a sudden making small steps towards there. You didn't even intend to do.
You're making, like you said, small steps. In fact, I'm reading this book that Laura gave me, Atomic Habits. And I love it so far. I'm only like 80 pages in, but I'm loving it. And it is. I mean, I'm at a point where it's like the author's talking about everything that we're talking about right now. About like a lot of people think that once you start a business, you're automatically going to be a multimillionaire. Like once you start taking just the littlest of tasks or habits and repeating them daily, then it becomes the habit. And then those little habits will get you to a place where you can start automating part of your business and give you more opportunity to talk to customers, to make more sales, to do all these things. And it's like, It's easy for this book to say, but it makes me want to like, I just, like you said, I'm like your husband. I just want to like do it now. Like I want to do it right now. Like I want to write that book right now.
And it's a wonderful quality to have. I mean, we wouldn't have half the stuff we have in this world without people who are just go-getters, that motivated. Like, and the thing is, like, you know, it didn't work out. Okay, next thing. And that's great. But there is also something to be said for slowing down, thinking about it. Where do you realistically want this to go the next year?
Right.
Like he just did a business plan where he wrote down everything, all the goals, realistic goals that he had to be brought back on a little bit, I think, for the next year. And I think that's really important to do. It's like
I need to do that.
Obtainable goals that you can do in the next year. Nothing that you're going to push yourself a little bit. Obviously, you got to push yourself. But it really puts in perspective, putting it down on paper and being able to go back and check on it here and there. It's like, okay, I can obtain this. And then, you know, have that one big nugget. It's like, if I get here, awesome. If I don't, let's be realistic. This was pushing it a little bit.
Yeah.
But it'll help you grow. So, and that's something I gotta get better at because I won't do that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to dream, but you gotta be reeled in every once in a while just to return back to reality.
Yeah, and obviously dream big, but make it bites you can take, you know, things you can chew.
Things you can chew.
Yeah.
Laura with all of her food puns.
Oh, I know. She's great at it though.
She's so good.
Witty, man.
She's so witty. And it's like I said, like when I first met her, I was like, whoa, kind of intimidated. But then like, just like talking to her, she just like throws little nuggets in. And you're just like,
a wise mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a wise woman. She's a mom and she's
very quick. Yeah. I need to talk to her more. I need to lean on her.
Everyone does. Yeah.
Everyone needs some Laura in their life.
Everyone does. I mean, changed my life completely. So I'm very grateful for that.
That's awesome. So Ashley, there comes a point in every conversation I have where I ask my guests a collection of questions that have nothing to do with what they do.
Okay.
You ready for them?
I'm ready.
What is your favorite movie?
The Notebook.
That's an acceptable answer.
Hart's favorite book or movie as well. Just
Eric's? No.
He's not going to like that I said that.
Eric's, you just exposed you. What was your first job ever?
First job ever was tutoring.
Okay.
If you don't count babysitting at like 8 years old.
What did you tutor?
Mostly math, a little bit of everything in the younger grades, elementary, middle school a little bit. But I really loved tutoring in math because I struggled hard.
Really?
I did. So when I got to a point where I was like, I can help someone who's struggling, I knew how to help them.
Heck yeah. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I needed you because I struggled. If you found out tomorrow was your last day on Earth, what would your last meal tonight be?
Steak.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big old steak.
Big old steak?
Steak, potatoes, green beans, Southern style green beans. Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Good answer. Good answer. You get to organize a music festival and pick 3 headliners. Who are your 3 headliners?
Ed Sheeran.
Okay.
Paramore.
Okay.
Because that's a millennial answer.
Of course. Very millennial answer.
And, third one, Livingston.
Okay. That's a good festival. I'd go.
Yeah.
I'd go.
Let's get the vibes.
Yo, for sure. All of the vibes.
Yeah.
On a day that you aren't baking or working, what does self-care look like for you?
Wine. And couch, 3 dogs, and something on the TV I'm not even watching.
Something that's just on and you glance up at it every once in a while and you're like,
acquire my attention.
Right.
Something I've seen about 1,000 times.
Sure. Yeah. Probably The Notebook.
Possibly.
That's an intense movie to just have on in the background.
Grabs my attention, I will say. Yeah, I put on like New Girl.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
A sitcom, The Office, New Girl, Friends, something that's like feel good.
Yeah. Very witty, quirky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like coming of age, kind of like
comfort.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very comfort. Yes. I like it. That New Girl is also my wife's go-to comfort show.
I got him on it way after the show ended.
I need to watch it because my friends are like all into it. And I'm like, I like all the actors and actresses in it. I just haven't given it the time.
Something about that stupid comedy.
Yeah. And I do love stupid comedy. So I don't know why I haven't invested.
Well, once you get in, it's on all the time.
Really?
It's on every TV in our house at all times of the day, just because it was comforting in the
Yeah.
background, like white noise.
Yeah. We had one going for a while, and it was Schitt's Creek. Have you seen Schitt's Creek?
I've seen like 2 episodes.
Okay, I know a lot of people that start it and then fall off of it. You just got to keep going, and then eventually you'll just, like New Girl, I'm sure you just fall in love with the characters.
Yeah.
And you just love them.
That's what I've heard. And I've got so many shows that have been recommended to me like that, but I have commitment issues. I feel like if I'm going to start that, I got to commit to it.
You know, my wife, she keeps, Gilmore Girls and New Girl on all the time.
I just finished Gilmore Girls for the 20s.
You guys are the same. I come home from work sometimes and I'm like, is that Gilmore Girls you're watching again? And she's like,
You just hear the la la.
yes. I just hear the theme song and I'm like, oh my God.
So-
I've had too much Gilmore Girls in my life. Not Gilmore Girls. What is it? Is it Gilmore Girls? It's the one. God, maybe not Gilmore Girls. Is Gilmore Girls the one with like the old ladies? Like Betty White was in it?
Oh, Golden Girl.
No, okay, not Golden Girls. So it is Gilmore Girls.
Oh.
It is Gilmore Girls. Okay. Not
Yeah.
the Golden Girls. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls.
I'm pretty sure part of the reason I am who I am today is because I was just watching it 10 o'clock at night when I should have been in bed.
Oh, for sure.
On not TLC, ABC Family before it was what it is today.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. What is something that very little people know about you?
I'm actually introverted.
Really?
Yeah.
So many people that I do this podcast with say that.
Yeah. So, and I'm glad you asked this question because I've been thinking about this a lot since I left working in food service. You kind of create a character. When you're an introvert and you're in a very social, driven concept, and being a manager, I was the go-to person.
Sure.
I talked to everyone all the time. And I also had to make sure my customers, my employees were comfortable with me. So I developed relationships with them. But by the time I got in my car, my social meter was negative. And then I get home and I was talk to me. So I've had a lot of time with myself since I left. And I'm like, man, love being home.
Dude.
No one's talking to me, but my husband's very extroverted.
Really?
So he's just like,
I feel like I've slowly been transforming over the years because I used to be just like completely extroverted. Just like the meter never runs out.
Oh, God.
Especially like on Sundays because that's podcast day. I'll get home and she's just like, how did they go? And I'm like, don't talk. Silence. And
we feel bad for tuning y'all out, but we have to go to a safe place.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
For like a weekend like this weekend, we had a 1-year-old birthday party and then our good friend's birthday party. And it's like, I'm done.
I'd be on
No
my
more.
feet. I would be done.
I want a couch.
There'd be a week of recovery.
I actually only scheduled your podcast alone. That's it for today. Because I was like,
Yeah.
I need the recharge time.
Yeah. You need some Gilmore Girls.
We'll see.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you a little bit about the company that makes your morning drive happen every week. Are you looking to elevate your business and your brand? Hammerhead Creations is here to help. They offer top-tier marketing services, including social media management, website design, and Google page optimization, ensuring your business reaches the right audience. Whether it's a side hustle or your full-time grind, their expert team, me, is ready to help you grow. Plus, if you're into podcasting like me, Hammerhead Creations offers full support for both in-house shows and external podcast creation. From concept to production, we will help you bring your ideas to life. Visit www.hammerheadcreations.com and discover how we can take your business or your podcast or both to the next level. Hammerhead Creations, swim with the big sharks.
I'm in the middle of Better Call Saul right now, so I'm trying to get through
We
that.
just started Breaking Bad. First time.
So good.
Yeah, it's bad. We got through like 2 seasons in a week.
That's great. Good for you guys.
The time, but when you're addicted like that, you find,
Oh, yeah. You find the time.
oh yeah,
You think about it.
2 a.m.
Yeah, for real. Did we go to bed yet? Oh, there's only 2
We
seasons.
we turn on the show. Fall asleep to it.
It's like crack. A good show is there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it is like crack.
Because it's Breaking Bad. That's awesome. What would the title of your memoir be?
Oh, that's hard. That's a hard one. It's funny. I think about this stuff a lot in a very dark way. I do. I guess, Hakuna Matata.
I like that. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Very good
I'm
answer.
surprised it took me that long. I'm a Disney freak.
Are you?
That was my first tattoo, is a Hakuna Matata.
Really?
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. I love The Lion King.
Oh, it's an obsession.
It's, at least in my opinion, it's the best Disney movie.
Great values in it.
So many.
You know,
Great music, great values, great action, great comedy,
every range of emotion.
everything.
Yeah,
And it's so uplifting
it is when it is.
when it is.
When it is.
It's very dark in some points. I mean, the dude literally killed his father, his own brother.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, I was watching that before I knew what I was watching. I was like 2 years old with the remote and the VCR, and I was rewinding it to my favorite stuff. My parents hated it for a while.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Disney's the best, for sure. Yeah, I love The Lion King. For a long time, I was like, Lion King's my favorite movie, and it will never budge.
It still is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's killer. That, talk about a comfort movie, The Lion King.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I've got Lion King posters up in my house, and
I love that.
I've got all of the stuffed animals.
I love that.
My husband's desk, not mine, because I can't have clutter.
Oh, that's good. What is your biggest fear?
Oh yeah, that's a hard one. I reflect on this one a lot too. I don't know what it is about entering your 30s. You start thinking about your last days a lot. But I feel like not living enough. Not living enough. I've been thinking about this a lot.
Like not being present?
Not being present and not taking the trips I want, not doing the things. For my 30th birthday, my husband took me skydiving, something I'd been wanting to do since I was a young teenager.
And how was it?
I ended up going 3 or 4 times within a 3-month period.
No way.
Yeah. An obsession.
Really?
An obsession. I was hoping to get certified to jump alone this year, but I decided to leave my job instead. You can only do one of those things. So yeah, and there's something about that. I'm like, why am I not doing more of this? You know?
Yeah.
Why am I not going out and doing these things and creating these memories while I can? So I'm kind of on a mission to just everything that I've wanted to do and hadn't done, I am on a journey to do that now, because you never know when that day's going to come. And I think I would have been really sad if I died without jumping into that plane.
Dang, I really want to do it too. I've thought about it.
I know the place.
You're like, please give me an excuse to go.
To go. No, stuff like that, parasailing, all kinds of stuff. I want to go skiing is something I've never done. Travel around Italy. I mean,
yeah,
all of Europe, really. I want to go do it all.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
All of that. What does success look like to you?
Trying. At least trying. No, I don't need the bank account to buy a second home in Florida. I want that. I don't need to have all the money in the world and all of that, but success for me is investing in oneself, no matter where it goes. And, you know, having your tribe. You got a good couple people in your life that you love and support you no matter what you do, you're successful. That's what really comfort at the end of the day. I mean, we all want to be wealthy. We all want to be able to buy whatever we want and not blink an eye, Kardashian level millions and billions. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's not really going to put you where you need to be in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God, family, and just the heart to try. Mm-hmm.
Love that.
Thank you.
Now, my friend, I let you look to the people and talk to the people and tell them how to find you, where to find you, what you do, and everything in between.
All right. Ashley Taylor, Southern Gal Desserts and Bakery. Right now, find me on Facebook at Southern Gal Desserts and Bakery. Right now, you can send me a message on there and just get a quote. Quote is free. So for now, that is where we're at until I get my website back up. So there you go.
Well, good deal. Good deal. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today. It was super cool to to reminisce about restaurant life and to talk about cakes and to talk about The Lion King. I love talking about The Lion King any chance I get.
And you can have me on to just like I'll do it.
Maybe we do a Disney deep dive one day. That'd be fun.
I'm there.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Place I'm here.
All right, bet. That sounds awesome. I'd love to do that. That'd be fun. Guys, I will make sure that her Facebook is thrown in the description of the episode so that if you are interested in a quote for a dessert of some kind for an event, or just if you want a nice dessert to snack on, I will be sure to have that in the description so you can just scroll down and tap on that so you can get access to it. Like I said at the top, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, follow along for clips and fun things all around the week. And I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Thank you for listening. Take care.